My health insurance is increasing from $417 a month to $1,002 a month if I want to keep the same doctors, have similar deductibles, and the same copays. Here's my old health insurance: $40 copays, $80 specialist visits, $417 a month. Here's what I'm looking at now for the same copays, deductibles, and my doctors covered: $1,002 a month. After turning 26 and having to get off my parents' healthcare plan, I finally had found new doctors and a new therapist. But in America, you don't get to choose your own doctors. Your healthcare plan does. And after my previous healthcare kicked off 1 million people, I'm now having to decide between paying an additional $585 a month to keep my same doctors or abandon the care team I just built and find a cheaper plan. I'm pissed. This is what happens when Republicans cut ACA subsidies to give tax breaks to billionaire CEOs that are the ones raising our rates. 22 million people are watching their costs increase in January. And the craziest part is, more Republicans than Democrats rely on these ACA subsidies. This shouldn't even be a partisan issue. Yet Republicans have no interest in extending these ACA subsidies and have presented no plan to make healthcare more affordable for millions of Americans. I know a lot of people are in the same boat, and I just want you to know, you are not alone.
At this point, you might as well just tell the American people, just go and dig a grave out there. How are you charging them like those kind of rates? Man, that's a scam right there if you ask me. So grateful to live in Canada. Don't know how you all do it in the States. Compared to this, our universal healthcare is looking like a blessing. I'm getting kicked off my insurance in January and I'm only 24. It's tough out here.
The pressure is getting...
So I have United Healthcare and I have just received my benefit summary for next year. If I keep my current plan, my monthly premium is going up 52.8%. Let me show you. My premium will be going from an already outrageous $422.04 per month to $644.91. I don't understand how this is legal. I don't understand how this is ethical. I don't understand anything about it. If I didn't have access to the medications that I take on a monthly and daily basis, I would be dead, or I would be so sick mentally and physically that I'm unable to work. How am I supposed to do this? Luckily, because the health insurance that my job provides has become so expensive, I qualify for a tax credit. And so my plan with my tax credit really isn't going up all that much, but still technically it is $650 for me to live every month, for me to survive. What is going on in this country?
My God, that's almost like people's car payments. For my husband and I, it's going from $580 to $2,300 with an $18K deductible. What are you talking about? What is going? Forget a car payment, that's a mortgage.
So we don't have the capacity.
Republicans are destroying the healthcare system. It looks like that's what they want to do, just to help all these rich folks. All the work Obama did for the American Care Act is being undone by Republicans that want the poor dead.
Are you surprised?
So apparently millions of people, millions of Republicans are on Obamacare. They get their insurance through the marketplace. And I don't know what kind of poll they did. CNN just released a press release today that millions of Republicans on Obamacare want the subsidies extended. These are the same Republicans who have bashed Obamacare since day one, ever since falling for Donald Trump's lie that Obama wasn't born in the United States. Like, if it's anything that's created by somebody with the D next to their name, they just shit on it and shit on it. And now they got their wish. Donald Trump said he was going to implode Obamacare and replace it. Their wish is coming true. And now all of a sudden, millions of them are screaming, no, wait, we want to keep it, because we don't want our insurance premiums to go up January 1st.
You know what's sad is that they voted for this and so they should enjoy the consequences of their actions. But unfortunately, it affects everyone else who didn't vote for this. They believed Trump actually had the magical program that he was blabbing about. Then reality came knocking at the door. I was telling my prior best friend, he has been promising us a healthcare plan for 10 years now. Prior best friend, she voted for him again. I was done.
Bye, bitch.
My healthcare is more than a car payment at this point, which is crazy.
As a wedding photographer, Megan Reed enjoys the perks of being a small business owner. Until this week, when she found out the cost of her health insurance plan through Penny is rising from about $230 per month to nearly $400.
It just makes you think twice about what you're spending money on.
Little things like just basic needs I'm going to have to cut down on.
Sarah Cunningham credits her Penny plan with saving her life after a cancer scare 5 years ago. But she just learned the price of her plan is going up by more than 300%.
I was shocked. I was expecting like 50%, but I wasn't expecting it to go up over 3 times the amount.
Experts say these price hikes shouldn't come as a huge shock as providers raise rates for the new year.
I beg your pardon?
However, as you just heard, some are getting hit a lot harder. If you're in that boat, best advice is to talk to an agent.
Small families are getting hit hard, 1099 contractors, people who are independent consultants. They're getting hit hardest.
Zach Wishnia says all this is the result of more people seeking coverage, the rising cost of health care, and a lack of premium tax credits, which expired under the legislation called the Big Beautiful Bill and is at the heart of the current government shutdown. Reed, who has an autoimmune disease, says she'll have to make sacrifices.
I know that moving forward, I'm also going to have to think about compromising things like dental and vision, which are things that I've always prioritized. Seeing an eye doctor, seeing a dentist twice a year.
So that was part of your package before, and now you may have to go without that.
Correct.
My God, now you have to compromise on which one you think is more important. And then the experts saying, oh, this may not be a surprise. Bro, you can clearly see people are being surprised.
Y'all smoking crack! Something is wrong with you people!
Useless ass. Our local healthcare system family plan is $750 a month. That's almost 75% of a paycheck for me. It's insane. You might need to have 2 jobs at this point to survive, or at least get a spouse who can even bring more money, or get the kids to start working, because that's crazy. Don't forget the folks with the majority pre-existing conditions, for example, cancer. Maintenance is a high level of care, which is what they justified the very, very high monthly cost to treat a survivor. And primaries seldom see cancer patients.
My business would not exist without Obamacare. We opened in September of 2013. My daughter was born in March of 2014, and her birth was complicated and expensive. And without health insurance coverage, I wouldn't have been able to continue the business, frankly.
So are you seeing rates for your private insurance for your employees go up? And I guess how is that related to this fight over ACA subsidies expiring?
To keep the same coverage, we're seeing jumps between 25 and 35%. I'm not an economist, but if one marketplace is going to go up, the other one's going to go up as well.
For people making that, so-called economic argument against these subsidies, what would you say to them?
I think they're wrong. I think that the person who has a great idea and wants to start a business, the thing that we as Americans value as part of our economy, that person isn't going to take the risk. Buying health insurance on the marketplace right now is becoming so unaffordable that people aren't going to participate in it.
And speaking a little bit too to the bigger picture of all this, what have your thoughts or views been on how lawmakers in Washington have handled all of this?
How honest do you want me to be, Chris?
As honest as you want.
I tend to be a pretty progressive liberal. Republicans are, instead of stepping up and just saying, no, we don't think that this is a good thing, they seem to be kneecapping the Affordable Care Act by just making it so expensive that nobody can afford it and then can wash their hands of it without, going on the record. The fact of the matter is people are going to die because of the inability of people in Washington to make agreements. It feels very clearly like they are trading away the future of our economy. They're trading away the future of Americans to benefit a wealthy few.
I saw the sentiment online and it looked like most people are potentially going to see that if the market rates are too high, then they might just go without insurance. You know how it is in America. If you don't have any insurance, you're pretty much cooked.
You want to know why I am so worried about health insurance costs next year? We got just a new poll today, just dropped, about what people are going to do if their health insurance costs double next year. And it's so bad, you guys. Okay, so this is about the ACA marketplace. This is where about 24 million Americans get their health insurance. And we all know there are these enhanced tax credits that have been helping people afford their premiums, but they're about to expire because Republicans won't extend them. So KFF, which is a nonprofit, nonpartisan health policy research organization, just released a poll where they asked marketplace enrollees, what are you going to do if your premium payments double, which is the minimum that they will do? And the answers are really alarming. 1 in 3 people said they would very likely shop for a cheaper plan, which sounds totally reasonable, except that those plans will have way higher deductibles and copays. So you'd be paying less upfront, but way more if you actually need to use that insurance. And the really scary part is that 1 in 4 people said they would very likely just go without insurance entirely, just straight up uninsured. 25% of the people, that's over 5 million people. And get this, nearly 6 in 10 people said they can't even afford a $300 increase per year without it seriously disrupting their household finances. That is $25 a month that people cannot afford. The poll also asked what people would do if their total healthcare costs, premiums plus deductibles plus copays went up by $1,000 next year. 2/3 said they would have to cut spending on daily household needs. Half said they'd have to try to find another job or work extra hours. 4 in 10 would skip or delay paying other bills. And 1/3 said they would have to take out a loan or rack up credit card debt. One more thing that's actually kind of hopeful is that 84% of enrollees across party lines think Congress should extend these enhanced tax credits. That includes 72% of Republicans and MAGA supporters. So there is broad support for keeping health insurance affordable. Not that Republican Congress members care. Anyway, open enrollment is happening right now. People have until January 15th in most states, but if you want coverage starting January 1st, people need to enroll by December 15th. So this is all happening like now. And the bottom line, I will just leave you with this, is that a lot of people are about to make some really tough decisions about their health coverage. And the results of those decisions are going to have extremely negative impacts on all of us.
My current plan went from $499 to $1,300 with $9,700 deductible and $100 copay for each visit. Holy moly! But anyway, let me know what you're experiencing with your own healthcare insurance premiums. If you guys will be enrolling into any of them, what are your rates that you're seeing on your end? Leave your comments down below and let me know what your thoughts are on this. If it's your first time to the channel, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Also, check out this video. I'm sure you're definitely going to enjoy it. But nevertheless, I will see you guys when I see you. Peace.